Okay, call the meeting to order here. It is 5:03. Start with the adoption of the agenda. Any additions from administration? Council? Councilor Dean?
Move that Governance Priorities Committee adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Councilor. Call the question. All in favor? It's moved. 3.1, adoption of the minutes from GNP August 27th, 2025. Anything you want to see there? Councilor Kuchen?
I'll move the minutes of the 2025 governance priority meeting is adopted as
As
presented.
presented. Thank you, Councilor. Call the question. All in favor? That's moved. Takes us 6.1, roadside mowing level of services. Jeff, Don?
Your worship, I want to acknowledge Dawn for her work on this item since last year. This is a item that we brought to council last year during budget deliberations. So I'll let Dawn start the presentation.
Good evening, members of council. So before you have an RFD regarding our roadside mowing program. And we're looking to transition that program into an in-house program versus a contract that we've been doing in the past. So you have a mowing cost analysis in your package that kind of does detail what the cost would be comparable to an in-house program versus a contractor price. And also I've listed those under the options category of the RFD so you can see them side by side. So there's a significant cost savings of bringing a program in-house on an annual basis and over the term of 10 years as well. So we put that into the mowing analysis. So we've got the various options listed are just going to be different levels of service that are potentially available. Doing the shoulder cut only, so that's just the 15-foot cut, doing a shoulder cut for the majority of the areas, and then a full ditch cut for the 1/3, so it's a 2/3, 1/3 split. Another option would be doing a half and half, so half shoulder cut, half full ditch cut. And then finally we could do a full right-of-way cut, so depending on what council's appetite is for a level of service for the program. So just going further to that, we have we've broken it down even further into the cost and source of funding section based on those options, again with our each of the different parts. So the mechanical repairs, the machine costs, the annual labor, and then overhead costs to give you a total as well, just so you can have a complete picture of what those costs would be. So what the recommendation is to bring this to an in-house program being consistent on our current level of service, so doing a 1/3 full ditch cut and a 2/3 shoulder cut on an annual basis, just to keep that level of service up for our ratepayers. Is there anything else I need to highlight?
One question I do have, you look over the 10 years on, I guess, the 1/3, and what we're doing is approximately $750,000 over 10 years in savings. But does that $750,000, that just based off the contracted price, or is that $750,000 then minus $630,000 for equipment and then minus wages and stuff on top of that?
To the chair, we have in the in-house delivery models that the price you see are inclusive of all the machine purchasing cost, the labor cost, the equipment operating cost, fuel and repairs. All those costs are already included in the in-house cost. So the roughly $700,000 saving over a 10-year period will be a true saving over the 10-year period.
Anything else from council? Councilor Coogan?
Through the chair. Yeah, Jeff, the only thing that I found a little curious in here is, and this is just probably from lack of experience on my part, is 150 horsepower tractor on a 15-foot battling mower is, to a certain degree, and any experience I've had, is a bit of overkill. So I'm just curious of what the difference of cost is in a 120 horsepower tractor, which is normally what the contractors use, to see if that there's a savings there, because that's a lot of horsepower on a 15-foot mower.
So, the equipment cost, what I did is I did a comparable between with other municipalities.
Okay.
So the average was 150 horsepower, the average was the 218,000, so it could be it'll probably be about the same
Okay.
cost, maybe a little bit lower on that, but I don't foresee it being that much lower.
Councilor Prestige?
Through the chair to Jeff, we have a tractor already. Are we gonna utilize that in summertime and keep it for snow removal in wintertime? Or what are you planning on doing with that?
Through the chair to Councilor Prestige, we do have a large sized mower, tractor that we have. It's overpowered. We generally used to pull wobbly carts in the summer and use it for road work. It's for mowing, for providing mowing services in house, we really need to have dedicated machine for those activities during the time.
Anything else from council? Council wants to make your recommendation. Councilor Dean?
I'll move motion one that the GMP committee receive the attached level of service review and mowing cost analysis for information.
Thank you, councilor. Motion on the floor. Anyone speaking to the motion? Not seeing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's moved. We have a motion to Councilor Burrows.
I'll make a motion that the Governance and Priorities Committee recommend to council to maintain the current level of service of 1/3 full right-of-way cut and 2/3 shoulder cut annually, and further deliver the program in-house.
Thank you, councilor. Move this, I guess, to council. Any discussion on that motion? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's moved. 7.1, financial analysis for Hamlet refuse pickup.
Your worship and members of the committee, this RFP is Robert's baby, and he's been working on this for a while, so I'll let him make the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and Council. So presently we're doing a bi-weekly pickup Mondays and Fridays in the hamlets, and our the refuge is about, or the, we're doing $10 a house per month is the rate that we're charging for the pickup, for picking up the garbage. We do have the issue that OH&S states that 50 pounds is what we're supposed to be picking up as a maximum without any help. We only have one driver per truck, and they pick up the garbage. Most of the people in the hamlet have more than 50 pounds in the garbage cans that we've supplied and that they've bought. So we're looking at the fact that it's getting to be difficult for some, as people try to pick these things up. They're having to spend extra time taking the garbage out of the cans as they are. We have 2 units at this time that we are using as a garbage trucks. They've been particularly set up for the garbage trucks. 1 unit and then 1 backup unit. The backup unit is usually the older of the 2. By the reassigning equipment operators to these 2 days for the refuge pickup, both of the garbage trucks are at end of life, and unit A414, which is the older of the 2 trucks right now, has significant issues with the box itself. And the mechanic was pushing through with his finger, not a hammer or anything else, using his finger to push through the box. If there's anything that is sharp and he goes to push, because it's a compactor as well, he could actually push it out the side, or we could lose the load altogether if it opens up on him. So that one has been taken out of service right now, so we're down to one truck. If that truck breaks down, then we are using a 1-ton box truck or the garbage trailer that we have. Administration completed a financial analysis for the refuge pickup to try and determine whether it is more economical to continue providing this service in-house or through our contracted services. I had contacted 3 different companies and a couple of municipalities to see how they're doing it for them. And as you saw with the package that was sent out to you, most municipalities are doing it in-house. The ones that are doing it with a vendor it's fairly costly. In summary, we've got 3 options we can do. These are a 10-year total cost, including capital, which is purchasing the equipment, and operations, so the hours and stuff that needs to get done. So if we continue the way we are with 2 days separate, the Fort being 1 day and the Blue Ridge being the other, it would be a 10-year, would be a $1.04 million. If we do the same day pickup, there's a slight decrease in the cost over the 10 years, but if we do it with a vendor, it's over $1 million more. Our recommendation would be to consider option 2 in a change of service to the pickup day. It's advisable to invite Fort Assiduan and Blue Ridge Hamlet residents to participate in a household survey providing residents with the 2 options and potential cost impact to each household monthly. That's all I have right now.
Okay, questions, comments, council? Councilor Prestige?
By going to option 2, we're only saving $42,000.
Over 10 years, it's not.
I think option 1's just keep going the same way we are.
Now, if a municipality decided to go with option 1 and say continue, or at least an option where we are continuously doing in-house pickups on our own versus running it out, the capital purchase of a new garbage truck, will we end up seeing that this year, next year, coming up in budgets?
To the chair, if you, either you pick option 1 or 2, the capital purchase, you will see in the 2026 capital plan presentation.
Councilor Cook and then Councilor Burrows.
Yeah, through the chair to Rob. Has there been consideration of increasing that per month rate?
Through the chair, I believe we are going to be looking at increasing the fees in a few different areas as far as it looks like right now. We are not being a cost recovery system right now. It's just taking money from the county.
Councilor Burrows and Councilor Dean.
Thanks, through the chair. I just wanted to know, if you're replacing this truck and we're having trouble with that 50-pound limit also, are we going with the arm style and the garbage cans, or have you looked at that? Or
We have looked at that. The purchase of the bins would be about $7,000, and then with the addition of buying that new truck that would be able to grasp the clamp or have the clamp to grasp it, would be another, I grabbed the wrong sheet. Be another 50,000 or, yeah, 50,000, give or take, over what we had originally quoted for a truck with the same application of what we have now.
So just to clarify, so 50,000 for the truck,
Sorry, it would be an additional 50,000 on top of the 550 that we already, so it'd be 600,000 for the truck.
and then 7,000 for the.
7,000 for the
Bins,
bins.
yeah.
Because we don't have the bins right now, so we'd have to purchase them.
Is it, sorry, just following up a little further through the chair, is that, we've got a motion here that is to conduct a kind of a survey. Is that portion gonna be included in the survey to have the roll-up bins or,
Yes.
okay. I just had one other question and it's kind of to both of these things, so just so that we can, as council, build confidence in the systems, I guess, is there gonna be a 1-year report on these back to council where, here was our estimate, here's our actual?
Through the chair, we could provide that.
I think maybe that's a council question that you'd like to put a date or work with administration to put a date on it, just so that we see how our numbers look, is all. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Councillor Dean?
Through the chair, to administration, so currently, residents are being charged $10 a month and they get garbage picked up twice a week,
Once a week,
once a
so
week.
4 times a month.
Okay,
So Blue Ridge is every Friday and the fort gets done every Monday.
okay. And so that cost of $10 a week, that's gonna be one of the fees that's looked at for potential increase
$10 a month, sorry, through the chair.
Two-
Yes,
$2.50 a
$10
week.
a month.
a month, yeah,
Right.
sorry. When was that fee established?
Through the chair to Councillor Dean, that fee was established in 1994.
30 years ago.
It's definitely a policy to have a look at. Costs have changed over 31 years. Mr. Zhang?
Your worship, and I believe Councillor Burrows asked one question that we didn't fully answer, is if option 1 is chosen, the question about the 50 pounds. My answer to that would be more vigilant in enforcing the weight limit. At this time, our staff have been more accommodating than refusing to pick up any garbage bag that's appeared to be heavier. So if we continue with option 1, then the staff will be asked to be more vigilant and not pick up any bags that's heavier than 50 pounds.
Question I have, if we end up going to, say, a garbage truck style with the arm and the bins, does that also then reduce the number of people you have to put on that route when you're picking up garbage? Cause you're not gonna need the driver plus collection guys.
To the
Right.
chair, there's only one driver collection guy, it's one person
It's one person currently? Okay,
currently, yes. And they have a discretion, like Jeff said, when they come to a bin, if it's too heavy, then some of them have been pulling the bags out, which then has a tendency to rip and then they have more time spent trying to clean that up. If the bin is light enough, most of them are just loose and then they gotta throw it in again. With the new system that we're looking at, it would be, if it's in the bin, we get it. If it's not in the bin, we don't get it.
Councillor Prestige?
Through the chair. I'm not familiar with how they pick the garbage up in the hamlets, so like, can you have 2 or 3 garbage cans with 50 pounds in them?
And through the chair, yes. Right now, they've got, some of them have multiple and then others just have 2 bags. And they just have them on a stand. So it's all dependent upon what's in the bag.
So what I'm getting at is they're not limited to 50 pounds per the
No.
week. Okay.
But the person picking it up is.
So
Councilor Bros?
just a question on the path forward, I guess, then, so through the chair to administration. So in this process, you're just looking for this to be adopted as information and that we further out with a survey on this and then we'll make a decision further on, okay. And that, part of that survey will be whether or not we're going to the what do you call that style?
Grapple.
A grapple, okay. I was gonna say a grabby thingy, but, okay, with that, I'll make a motion that, the Governance and Priorities Committee accept the Hamlet Refuge pickup presentation for information.
Thank you, Councilor. Discussion to the motion? Not seeing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's moved. You want us to make motion number 2? Councilor Pressage?
I'll make a motion that the Governance and Priorities Committee direct administration to conduct survey on Hamlet residents' preferred service options.
Thank you, Councilor. Discussion to the motion? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's moved. 7.2, Policy ISR 6204, Vegetation Management and Roadside Cleanup Policy.
Your worship and members of the committee, this policy was previously presented at ASB meeting. I have made some modifications to it. So for the benefit of those members who were not part of ASB, I'll just start from fresh. We have undertaken a number of policies for review. One of is vegetation management, second haying in the road right of way, number 3 roadside brushing, number 4 roadside grass seeding, number 5 annual roadside cleanup. And we're taking this opportunity to update the existing policies to current formats, separating them from a policy to a policy plus procedure scenario. I also use this opportunity to look at other counties' practices and make sure our practice is still the best. We have also utilized this opportunity to create a policy on mowing. For context, there's no mowing policy for this county, so we take this opportunity to create one. We felt it was more fitting for vegetation management to cover mowing as well. So in terms of the changes, for vegetation management, haying and roadside brushing as well as roadside grass seeding, there's no significant changes, it's more administrative. The 2 policies, that's one of them is new, it's mowing. The mowing policy simply defines the level of service, which is exactly as written as what council decided in the RFD prior to this one, at 1/3 for the full right-of-way cut and 2/3 for a shoulder cut. And lastly, for the annual roadside cleanup, I've previously advised council that when we pay our society groups to do cleanup on highways, we are not getting compensated from the province. This is one major change in the policy here is I've removed any roads of any highway mentioned in the policy, and so that we're only focusing on county roads. I've also taken this opportunity to move the listing of county roads from policy into procedure, just so that I don't have to come back to council if one road is for some reason drop off from the list to make the change. But that's those 2 are the 2 major changes to this policy. Just one more thing about the roadside cleanup. It is my intention that after the adoption of this new policy for vegetation management roadside cleanup by council, I'll get my administrative assistant to send out an email to the previous community groups who registered with us, just to let them know, give them the contact who to contact Mr. Province. One question came from ASB when I presented this to ASB is whether the province will cover insurance, and I have reached out to the province. The province does provide some insurance coverage for those community groups. Without reading through the entire RFD, that's my presentation. Thank you.
So for clarification, on the roadside cleanup then, does run the opportunity for some of the community groups to utilize that program then to kind of utilize it on twofold, one with the county and one with the province?
Your worship,
Different programs, but similar thing.
your worship, there's a committee group can register with both the county and the province at the same time. But there are,
That's-
as you said, there are two distinctly different entities running the programs.
Any other questions, comments? Councillor Dean, Councillor Kuchen?
Not a question, I was gonna make a motion, but did you have a question? Yeah. So I'll make the motion, then you can speak to the motion. Move that Governance and Priorities Committee recommend to council that policy IS.R-6.204 vegetation management and roadside cleanup be approved.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Kuchen, speaking to the motion?
Yeah, the only question I had through the chair to Jeff was I'd had some questions on the policy for the 6/3/12 for the hanging on the right of way. Is that an annual application?
You want to speak to that?
Yes, through the chair. Yeah, it's not an annual application, it's like it has to be done each time. So they can do it annually, or they should be doing it each time they plan on mowing that right of way. Or cutting the right of way for hay, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else speaking to the motion? Not seeing any, I'll call the question, all in favor? That's moved. 8.1, we got one in closed session, if I can get a motion to go into committee of the whole.
At 5:28 pursuant to Access of Information Acts 29, we need to discuss staff recognition program which pertains to advice, proposals, recommendation, analysis, or policy options developed for the management, personnel, and administration of the body.
Thank you, Councillor. Discussion on the motion? Not seeing any, I'll call the question, all in favor? That's moved. And if you can let me know when we're off, and we'll be in closed session.